is to always follow through with everything we are doing and all that. We don't want a scenario where you would say, oh, you want the session recorded. However, for people joining the call, we are going to be giving you an exclusive access to the sessions. But I don't want you to bank on it. I want you to be present in the session so that you're able to ask questions where needed, where necessary, and all that. We won't be wasting time today because our facilitator is having no time to I don't want us to dwell so much. I want us to dwell, actually, I want us to dwell so that we are able to get value from it and also ask questions because it's going to be a practical class. It's going to be a very, very practical class. But I don't want us to extend our facilitators' time. Maybe we would have our come another time for another session. We will discuss that at the call. We are going to be streamlining our session today to 1 hour so that our speaker is able to give us a better time frame. I want us to go to the group, go to any group you are in, any of the groups that you find yourself in, go to that group and type "We are live." The session is live. Kindly join. I need you to reshare the meeting link. Reshare the meeting link to 2 persons, reshare to 3 persons, reshare to 4 persons, reshare to 5 persons, 6 persons. Reshare on your on your Facebook status as well. Reshare on your Instagram story. Get as many persons as possible involved
Hey Belle, you're muted though.
the call. Kindly type "I've shared." Let's do that in the next 2 minutes. Let's do that in the next 2 minutes. I don't want us to waste time or I don't want us to spend time so much on that. I want us to move straight into the call today. Reshare this meeting link with 2 persons, reshare with 3 persons, reshare with 5 persons, 6 persons. Reshare, just reshare. And what you're doing, just like I mentioned the other time, is that when you reshare information like this, to become a person of authority, you are also empowering other persons with the right knowledge, with the right tool that they need to succeed. And what does that actually do? That actually helps them to grow. And if anybody gives you opportunity for you to grow, won't you respect that person? I know obviously you will respect that person. I know obviously you'll be so proud of yourself for impacting other persons with knowledge that they need to have. So let's do this in the next 2 minutes and then we'll kickstart. I'm timing myself. This is 10:06 a.m. By exactly 10:08, we are going to start. But I need you to reshare it. Reshare to 4 persons, reshare to 5 persons. Go to the group that we are in and type "We are live." Go to the groups and type "We are live," and then we will kickstart. Our speaker is here on the call already. Our speaker is here on the call already. So get ready. Brace for impact. Do you understand? Brace for impact. And also get your questions ready as well because we are going to be speaking on AI, how you can use AI to sell real estate. So let's do this very quickly and then we'll kickstart the session in the next 1 minute. This is already 10:07. So let's repost in all groups that we are in and then we'll kickstart immediately. At exactly 10:08, I will introduce our speaker and then we'll kickstart. Alpha. Great, great. This is 10:08 already, and we will be kickstarting this session fully. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. If you're just getting to meet me, my name is Abel Victor Tinipamoe. I'm the lead FIPS Realtor Network, the business development arm for FIPS Real Estate Development Limited. I want to say a very big welcome to every one of you. Today is the day two morning session of the Real Estate Accelerator Program, fourth edition. Every year we do this. Some years we do it twice, and then this year, this is the first we're doing in the year 2026, and it's been an amazing time. Yesterday morning we had a powerful speaker that came on board, our FIPS Realtor Network and AI human capability across Africa. He is dedicated to ensuring that intelligent systems drive tangible economic and institutional transitioning organizations from experiential pilots to scalable systems that deliver real world value. Because, of course, everybody can build anything, but she has actually helped businesses to scale from just ideas to scalable businesses. Through the Techletics Institute of Technology and Innovation and the Ninth Edge, she is currently scaling data and AI literacy by deploying specialized labs in academic institutions, such as the recent landmark proof of concept at Abdul Kader Kure University, which is in Mina. Impact in um, digitizing critical infrastructure is further evidenced by Thor, an ERP platform to streamline logistics and operational workflow for Nigeria's emerging CNG industry. As the founder of Techletics, Oluwatayo over draws on over a decade of leadership experience at Access Bank and Interswitch to advise executive teams on moving beyond digital adoption to true enterprise intelligence. A Wimbees Wimboard Fellow and author of the forthcoming book, The Enterprise Intelligence. The Enterprise Intelligence. That's a book coming up. I believe we'll get a hold of that book and also give us updates when the book comes out. She is a leading voice in ensuring Africa businesses and talents are the primary architects of continent's intelligence future. She holds an executive MBA and an associate of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, ACIB, WIMBIS, Women in Management, Business and Public Service, and the Society for Corporate Governance. With a clapping ovation. You know how we do it here, guys. We know how we do it here, guys. With a clapping ovation, with a clapping ovation. I'm not seeing you clapping. I'm not seeing you clapping. Just two persons. Come on. It has to be more than that. It has to be more than that. Just three persons. Only four persons. Come on. We are over 25 persons on the call. So let's get. I need to see you clapping. I need to see you clapping. Also, with a clapping ovation, welcome on board, Miss Winkunle Oluwatayo. The floor is yours, ma'am. Good to have you on the call this morning.
Thank you, Abel. Mic check. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
All right, fantastic. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. How is our day coming? TGIF. Thank you, Hope. Thank God it's Friday. And thank you for taking out time to invest in knowledge and to add more value to yourself as a realtor, whether you're a professional who's already in the field or whether if you're an enthusiast. This session, I can guarantee you that it will add more value to you. And of course, you can also use this session to I'm joining on two devices though, so I'd like to think that you can see my screen. All right. Please, if you can see my screen, give it a thumbs up or anything that comes. Oh, fantastic. All right. I'm in presentation mode and I'm trying to see. Okay. All right, fantastic. Real quick. In the last 7 days, or Claude or Gemini to do any show of hand or just, do an emoji. If you have used Claude, ChatGPT, okay, so which means that people in the room new. They are not new to the they are not new to this they are not new to the world of generative AI, right? By the way, the chatbot that we all use today is just a fraction of what artificial intelligence is. And I also need us to leave this conversation or leave this call today knowing fully well that there are okay, fantastic. Thank you, Gladys. I need you to know fully well that the chat GPT you use, the ones you use for video generation, the ones you use for audio generation, they are just a tiny fraction of what is possible with artificial intelligence. It's just one expression of artificial intelligence, and those solutions or those tools belong to a class that's a class known as generative artificial people. We're just about how you will sell more with artificial intelligence, and it's a working session. So today, I have a 23 slides, but trust me, I'm going to probably, because of the limited time we have, I have some templates inside it also. At the end of this call, you're going to get the template. You're going to get the template conversation. This conversation exposure just to open our minds more. I'm glad that a lot of us that is a good starting point. It makes my work relatively easier. Today, we just want to exposing you to what is possible, what more is possible, and I will share the deck with after the call. Okay, so these are 3 questions, or these are the 3 areas I would want us to talk about today. And more, how you have and conversion and prompts that produce sellable work. So I have some sample prompts in this deck that I'm going to share with you. So in this conversation, I'm not here to make you an AI expert. I mean, you don't become an AI expert in 40 minutes, right? I'm basically here to show you what is possible so you can decide whether to go deeper or whether you just want to stay on the surface, all right? So this deck would also be shared. So the 3 things: how to sell more and more, consistent client acquisition and conversion, prompts that produce sellable work. Okay. So let's look at 2 scenarios with 2 agents. Agent 1, give me a sec. With 2 agents. Agent 1 is Tunde, and the second agent is Amaka. Now, I've used names that we are all familiar with, and that we can relate to. So let's look at Tunde's profile. Tunde has 7 years experience, works on the phone from 8 a.m. He calls every lead once. Let's look at Amaka. Amaka has 2 years experience in real estate. She also has a phone. She has same hours. She runs every lead through a system first. Okay. If we look at Tunde and Amaka, who has been in the industry longer from these two profiles? Sorry?
No. Tunde.
Fantastic. So Tunde is senior, right? Tunde has more years of experience. Okay, so but the other variable, they have the same thing. They have the same development in Lekki, they have the same Instagram campaign, they have the same budgets to sell that particular development. They also have leads. So let's look at how this. But before we do that, how many of you have had a kind of thing came out of it? That is, you did everything. You did WhatsApp broadcast. You posted on your Instagram story. Some of you even did sponsored posts, and it showed you that people had interest. Maybe it showed you that people sent in their email address or request 40 leads, but you didn't make any sales. Can I see a show of hand? Okay, Jide, Esther, okay, we felt it. We felt this before. Okay, so this is Amaka's scoreboard. Now, close. Don't forget what just at 8 a.m. of the day, at the end of 30 days, or at the end of the period, he sold one property. I mean, he closed one deal. Average follow-ups that he does per lead. Don't forget, let's say he has 40 leads. So averagely, he just does like 1.4, like let's just even say one follow-up. I don't do follow-up at all. Now, why that one said, come, do you understand? Now, after the entire, even after you are so far, even from that one deal. Now let's look to Amaka. Amaka closed of 6 follow-ups per lead. So she follows up with one of those leads. Now, out of those 4 deals she closed, for those follow-ups she has done, she gets at least 2 referrals. So she works the same hours and she has live conversation in a week or 4. So basically, this is Amaka and Tunde's reality. All right, or never lost a deal in the gap. So basically, we now want to, what is the gap between Tunde's approach and Amaka's approach? We now want to dwell in that gap and see, okay, how can, if you are a Tunde on this call today, how can you become an Amaka by tomorrow, or how can you become an Amaka in another 30 days? That's what we want to quickly, that's what I want to quickly expose your mind to this morning. So it's not like Amaka is smarter than Tunde. She's not better on the phone. She simply never lost a gap between contact 1 and contact 6. Okay, so let's look at how intelligence can train. Now, think of artificial intelligence as a as an intern or a junior agent who never sleeps that is attached to you. And you necessarily need to know how to use or exploit this intern well so that it delivers results for you. Okay. So once you get this deck, right, I need you to use this deck or this particular slide rather to come back to it so you understand what your agent or what your intern can do for you per time. So if you look at it, the green boxes are the pros, the amber boxes or the yellow boxes are the cons, advantages and disadvantages. So let's quickly look at what artificial intelligence can deliver for you. That your intern, this AI, is extremely fast. That is, it can write in seconds. What would typically take you an hour or several hours to write, it can write for you. It has read everything, of course, depending on how well you train it or what quality of stuff you give to it, right? This your intern can read everything. It knows structure, it knows the tone, it knows the market you're in, it knows objections that typically come for your sales cycle. It knows when and where those objections come from. It knows the format. So this your intern has literally read everything. Now, the last part that is the advantage of this your intern is that it never sulks. It never feels like, Sunday talked to me somehow today. I'm not going to work. I'm going to mull over it. I'm going to sulk over it for another 10 hours. No. It's your intern, it's your agent, your junior agent. It never sulks. It's always available to work regardless. It's even available on weekends at odd hours. Now, those are the pros, right? Let's look at the cons. This your agent has never, which means that if you let it, it will invent details. Okay, you probably have seen things around AI hallucination before. You've heard it before, right? So basically, those are some of the cons. Does not know your client. This particular intern, this your, all-round intern, does not know your client. You do know, you are the human that knows the client. Okay, so at best, this your intern will be describing your client as a generic human, except you brief it properly. Then the third con or the third disadvantage is that it sounds very confident even when it is wrong. Again, you are the human being, right? And it is your name, your blood and sweat that is on the paper, right? So whatever its output is, you necessarily need to double check. Okay, so you can literally come back to this deck or this slide every time just so that you know the pros and cons of what you're getting into if you really want to leverage artificial intelligence and where human intelligence needs to step in. Okay, so everything that follows from this slide forward is basically about how to manage this intern well, how to manage this your junior agent well. Okay, so let's quickly go. The first one, sell more, earn more. This is almost like me wanting, if you were in a physical class, I would have asked you to all, say this after me. Sell more, earn more. Okay, the house, you just basically have your house, basically. So I attempted to do a breakdown of how your typical work week looks like, your typical 40-hour week look like. Give me a sec. I did a quick breakdown of it. You can see it on this chart here. So as you're reading or as you're looking through this deck, make a mental note, right, of what your selling hours is like. So for example, just make a mental note of what your selling hour is like. For example, in this my own deck, this 13 that you see is representing selling hours. This 13 that you see is representing selling hours, right? Which means if you're using 13 hours for selling, you have 27 hours left for production work. Okay, so so basically it is that 27 hours that we now need to think about. These are just examples, right? Your own selling hours may even be in a working week, may be lower than 13 hours. In some other people's cases, it may be higher, right? But I just took a middle ground. So let's say you now have 27 hours for production work that your junior agent can, let's walk around how, inside that 27 hours, right? How can you buy back at least 9 hours to yourself? So production work will be, oh, you're thinking about drafting documents. You're thinking about, oh, how to handle an Instagram, WhatsApp campaign, or TikTok. Go here, go there, some things that can be automated. So how do you now want to get back at least 9 hours out of 27 hours so that you can even do more focused work? Okay. So let's look at an example. Let's look at the quick example of what basically how you interact with your AI. I use the word AI chatbot, or if I keep saying your intern, just know that I'm referring to the AI chatbots. In this case, maybe your ChatGPT, your Claude, your Gemini, Grok, depending on. Okay. So let's look at this example. I think you can see the screen. So let's say this is what you type: 4-bed terrace, Chevron Drive, 350 square meters, blah, blah, blah. How those listings typically come. C of O. So basically, what would typically come back from is that it should naturally come back with a finished caption in your tone, plus 3 headline options, and even a shorter WhatsApp version. So for example, if you're posting on Instagram, what you're posting on Instagram different from what you're posting on WhatsApp. What is shorter, right? But of course, you will get to that place. When you get to on Instagram, you probably would use hashtags. WhatsApp, you don't need that, right? So basically, what you do is that you put this prompt. It basically comes back cleaner, sharper. Then you do the parts that only you can do. Don't forget the pros and cons that we talked about. You still have to review whatever this guy gives you. This is your intern. Don't forget, it's your intern. It's your junior agent. Okay. Even though you're intelligent, yes, those tools, the systems are very intelligent. However, it's not what's the word now? It's not the best of. It's not the best way to just literally hand over everything to them, especially around your business. You still need human beings to step in. Okay, you need to check every fact, cut anything that you can. You don't want an artificial intelligence telling you that it has your food. Meanwhile, maybe it's just governor's consent, or it probably doesn't even have any title just yet. But because you never told it, it's just confidently saying the things that it thinks will get you the sale faster and quicker. Okay, perhaps it doesn't even have any title at all. Okay. So let's quickly go. These are the 3 places AI can market. It gives you the pricing you can defend, and it can also give you your second sale. Okay. So for example, if you're trying to either sell a property or lease a property or whatever it is, you can actually train your intern or your artificial intelligence tool to make competitive analysis, maybe at crossroads, all right, or to be able to pull or fetch market data, depending on what market you're operating in. If you're in Port Harcourt, and probably the what's it called now is in Port Harcourt, the property is in Port Harcourt, you probably want to know how much houses are selling for at that price. If you were to do it as a human being, it means you're going to maybe like 10 websites or 50 websites all at once. You can't do that productively as a human. But you have your junior intern that has great computational power that can go to all those 50 sites all at once and pull all those sources and pull it all together at once. The idea of if the customer is coming and say, oh, this real estate development, they're selling it for XYZ. Before they say that, you already, because somebody has done that homework for you, you're not caught unawares. All right. So that basically helps you combine more. So I believe one thing I see a lot of people doing mostly with AI is they'll just generate caption, generate this, rewrite this document, rewrite this email. There are a lot more that you can do. You can build models out of it. Anything that would cause a client to not want to buy from you, you can actually diffuse that matter because you're working from a data perspective. And if there's anybody that I know in today's world that is investing in the real estate space, because those makes those decisions based on emotions, they make those decisions based on data. So the groundwork for you every time. Okay. And with that, you can even get your second sale because this client already perceives you as is very proactive, who knows what they are doing, who knows historical data, or is your data analyst is doing it for you, cold data. And you can even predict future data in the sense that based on historical patterns, because your AI or agent is doing that for you, you are better, more informed, well positioned to talk or to have those conversations with your client, especially if they've even bought one before, right? Your social proof. And they are better to be convinced to say, this guy said he's correct. He knows what he's doing. All right. Okay, so let's quickly go to acquisition and conversion. Our time is is flying. Okay, now I need you to know that it is good to have leads, and this is where some of us may probably be mixing things up. Oh, I have 100 leads, I have 150. Before started this call, I asked you, have you been in a situation where you have 40 leads but nothing came out of it? It's possible. Some people will say, oh, we have this email list, we have 10,000 people on this email list, but how many people from that email list have brought from you before? Okay, so it's the follow-up that is the asset. So let's quickly look at this now. We'll quickly look at where the close actually happens. All right. Quick pulse check. When you're selling or when you're trying to list a property or trying to sell a property, how many of you follow up 5 times? How many of you follow up 5 times? Okay, that seems like a silence or very few hands. Okay. Tesca Reality says, I think she's a lady. Gladys also says she does. Okay. That's quite few relative to the first time when I asked you, oh, have you had 40 leads? And so let's look at this fact, right? 4 out of 5 closes happen after the third contact. The challenge is most agents stop at contact 2. That is, you got this person as a lead, you call them once, maybe they gave you, and by the way, I believe at some point you guys know the art of selling. No is not a closed door. Having to hear the word no doesn't mean it's a closed door. It's more of an opportunity to probe further. Okay. By the way, I don't think that got reflected in my bio when Abel was reading it. The first 7 years of my career was in sales. I was in banking, and bro, it was something. So I believe you have a fair idea. When I say I was in sales, I was in banking, it basically means I was a marketer, I was an account officer. So I was always looking for deposits. And I wasn't looking for 1 million deposits, 2 million deposits. I was looking for deposits in hundreds of millions, right? And hundreds of millions of naira and thousands of dollars. It was like that. So no was just not going to be there. You are either doing this or you are not doing this, but we will make sure you do it, right? So just so you have a fair idea that no, yes, it's not the final objection, right? So my charge to you today is, yes, so while AI would help you 1 or 2, your follow-up game has to be tight, right? Your follow-up game has to be tight. You just don't give up after all a client says no. Maybe I'm also talking to myself because in my head I'm thinking, which clients this month has told me no? Let me go back. All right. We also need to come to that point where you introspect and you like, I really need to pursue this client again because he can give me the do. I know he has the do and I have a value to give in return. Okay, so this is just an illustrative representation of a breakdown where the sales happen. Okay, so most agents stop at 2, that is the second follow-up, and it's not from laziness, maybe from a full work, from they just forgot really, or from not knowing what to say the fourth time. And you know, there are times you meet clients that are very, very saucy. Clients that can abuse you and your generations that are yet unborn safe. I know all of those things, right? It's not an excuse to say you want to stop calling them. Well, except they use police to carry you, sha. Please don't get into that bit of things. But again, it also speaks to your tactics. Okay, so how are you also following up, right? So so let's quickly jump so that we know how that means. So let's continue our example of you have I'm reading somebody's chat and it's funny. Let's continue the example of your 40 leads, right? 40 leads. You have 40 leads. Instead of you, by the time you come to this real program, by the time you come to this master class, the next time it is happening, or you remember FIP, or you remember FIPS, just know that you are working with a way. Remember that you're working away with value. Instead of you not making any lead from your conversion from your 40 leads again, remember that at least you now know how to split your leads. Now let's look at how you can sort it and the prompt you can use, because you necessarily need to sort your leads into the hot leads, the warm leads, and the cold leads. And I'm going to quickly tell you the tactics to deal with these 3 people, or these 3 sets of people. Okay, 40 inquiries from my Lucky. So this is the prompt. Here are 40 inquiries from my Lucky campaign. For each one, score budget fit, urgency, and seriousness from 1 to 5. Give me the single question I should open with on the call. So depending on how you've set up your campaign, right? Let's say on Instagram or Facebook or whatever you're pushing, or WhatsApp, right? Whatever form you have used to collect these leads, the questions you asked in those forms, it should reflect, it should reflect. Maybe you've asked them for their budgets, because you know the budgets of the properties you have, or you know the prices or the ticket sizes of the properties you have. So in your lead form, right, ask them for their budget, so you have a fair idea if you can service them. Some of them, because you just don't want to be chasing a dead lead, really. So in your form, collect their budget fees, their urgency, some basic stuff that you also know, because you necessarily need to find a match, right? So when your junior intern now split it into hot or cold, the hot guys, the ones that are in hot, call them that day. As the lead is coming in and it is sorting it for you, call them that day. Have that question ready, right? Then the warm ones, you give them the warm one that are neither here nor there, the lukewarm one, right? Give them, they probably just need a little bit of more convincing, right? Give them the value message. So they probably have told you, maybe they are just worried about if the area floods, or they're just worried about security, or they're worried about where the school their children would go in that vicinity. Just give them the value, all right? Give them the value message. The cold one, just be giving them newsletter. You never know. The seemingly cold one today can become your hot lead in another 2 years. But don't leave their face, okay? You can even revisit them in 90 days, because people's statuses change. The way you think about something today wasn't the way you thought about that same thing maybe 3 months ago. All right, so give people grace. It's not to say you're discarding the code, guys, but at least you now know where to put your efforts, all right, and when to revisit them. Okay, so the point is not even in the sorting. The point is that at 8:15 a.m., you know exactly who to call. Okay, and you never spend a morning. You won't spend that morning deciding, who do I call? What do I say to this person? Because you've already told your intern to sort and to give you what questions to ask them on that call based off the lead details that you've gotten from them. Okay, now we're going to run. Okay, so I put like a structured calendar here, what you can do from day 0, day 2 up to day 21. Okay, so you see the 5 touches and you can use it forever. So you see the proof, maybe proof of somebody that has bought from you before, blah blah blah. Of course, you will also preempt their objection. Okay, you answer their doubts before they even raise it. Don't forget that most people in this space, most people that want to invest in real estate, they are most times, 8 out of 10 times, they're working from a place of data, not from the place of emotion. Most people, because hey, these are big ticket transactions. You just don't say, I just like the paint of the house, that's why I'm buying it. You rarely find people who say that. Okay, all right. So this particular slide speak to your third move. Your first move is to sort your leads, that is, sort them into hot, warm, or cold. Your second move is to have the touch points. The touch points from day 1 to day 21 or to day 40, depending on how you want to split it out. Your third move is to answer the objection before it hardens. If they have an objection, quickly attack it, because the mind is a wonderful thing, right? If you're not careful, maybe this person was already thinking about flooding in that particular area, blah, blah, blah. That's if you live in Lagos. Before you know it, on Instagram, Facebook, they'll just be seeing flooding video all over. And before you know it, because you didn't address that objection quickly, it has formed in their mind, even though it's just in their mind. But you know the truth. You know the truth. Okay? So the objection, let's take this example. Oh, that house is too expensive. I saw something similar in Aja for less. Okay? Now, you go to your intern, your AI again. Give me 3 replies to this objection. One that reframes value, one that uses a comparable, one that asks a question back. Just keep the conversation open, right? Keep each under 60 words. Nigerian buyer, WhatsApp tone, respectful. So you can see that is a prompt you can use and you can, make it better. The advantage, instead of you asking for one answer, ask for 3 angles. That is, one answer that reframes the value, one that uses a comparable, and one that asks a question back. Okay, 3 angles instead of one, and you pick one that fits the person because you know the person. All right, so you can do this a couple of times, so you stop needing the tool for objections because you are human, right? You basically at some point you would have internalized it, and you by instinct, by intuition, you will start knowing some things by yourself. All right, this is the third portion of our conversation today, mastering the prompts. I wrote a ton of, okay, maybe not ton, I wrote some prompts in this slide. I'm going to share it later. So again, nobody needs to be technical. If you can brief a photographer for a shoot, you can prompt. Okay, so a prompt is a brief. You already know how to brief people. You already do it already today. So let's quickly look at how a brief should look like. All right, and I already tied it to the title of this program. The title of this program is Real Estate Accelerator Program. Abi? Real Estate Accelerator. Yeah. So we're going to Real Estate Accelerator Program and real estate. So I put an acronym that you can use. All right. So let's look at how brief or prompt should go in. This is thin. This one on the left side of the screen is a thin brief where you say, write a post about my property. It's garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put in it is what you get back. All right. So if you say write a post about my, that's very vague and ambiguous, right? It will also give you a vague and ambiguous answer. If you want to give it a proper brief, think of it that you give it the role it should assume, so it knows the facts. You give it the audience that will read whatever you want to use and the format. Okay. So what you will get a copy or a caption that names the estate. It speaks to a specific buyer. It gives you real numbers. You also need to double check those numbers too. And it ends with an action you actually want your audience to take. Okay, so let's look at the acronym I've put together for you. So for you to use a prompt, once you've written the prompt, check it against these gates. If they don't fit any of those four, then you necessarily need to revise it. So look at role, tell it who it is. Then there's an example. You're a Lagos real estate copywriter who writes for high net worth family buyers. That is you giving your intern, your AI chatbot, a role. Then evidence, give it the real fact. 350 square meters, 4 beds, C of O, 185 million, Chevron, those are evidence, all right? Those are evidence, things that are fact. Then tell it who is reading, the audience. A returning diaspora family with 2 young children, this is their first purchase in Nigeria. It is good, it is okay, as much as you've gathered about the client, tell your intern about it, because it now gives you personalized, special stuff for that your buyer or your intending buyer. Limits, you then need to give it guardrails or give it things that it should work within. Tell it 120 words, WhatsApp tone, no exaggeration, invent nothing, end with a question. So basically this is a real acronym that you can use to engage your clients. Okay, so I put 5 prompts here: listing a property, to triage a lead, to follow up, objection replies, content month. So that you have there. Now, what your junior agent must never do alone. This is governance now, right? Never let it never let it state a title status, especially if you haven't even confirmed yourself. Never let it generate property images, because people can detect AI images. You self, I know you can. Never send unread. Read the thing gives you before you send it out to Biko. Read it. Never let it invent a price or a return. So it's not you now trying to promise 50% return on investment, 80%. Your AI is just good at inventing things, because you have told it you want to sell by fire by force, because you don't pressure the guy. Now the guy too will not start formulating things for you. So never let it invent a price or a return on investment. All right, those are some standard guardrails you have to put in your agent in the settings section that you may necessarily need to put in your AI tool. Okay, never paste a client's full details in. This is more important. Privacy is important. So even when you're uploading documents, right, don't paste your client's full details, their name, their address, their phone number. Why do you want to do that? Okay, strip their names off. Replace it with a generic name. Strip their phone numbers off, their account details. Don't put it into LLM tools, please, guys. All right, never let it replace a site. You said visit the site first. Visit the site and be sure of how things are, because you don't want to have done this much work and it is the first time that you are taking the client there. That's the first time you are seeing things. You now realize that the gutter in front of the house is very smelly. Please, do the due diligence. This is where your own human intelligence comes into play. All right, so this is what your 90 days should look like. Put it in buckets, build your assets, run the system, and read the data. Okay, so basically this is these are just conclusion slide. All right, so do not oversell. What I've come to do today is to expose your mind, right? The full program, or once you start using your tool by yourself, that is where you figure out the real thing. All right, so it wasn't like Amaka worked harder than Tunde. It's just that, she usually, people will say work smarter, not harder. Well, either ways, it's just that she did the right thing at the right time with the right tools. Okay, so basically, any question? We've come to the end of our conversation today. All right, I see a hand. I'm just going to have about 3 minutes to quickly take question. Oh, there are 2 hands. Which hand came first? How do I know now? Give me a second. Let's see. Okay, Benga Kazim. Let's have it. Please unmute your mic. Is Benga Kazim there? because you raised your hand first before Top Notch. Okay, Top Notch, go for it.
Okay, good morning, ma.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, thanks for the session. It was nice. Very inspiring and eye-opening. Okay, so my question is, you in the beginning of your session, you mentioned that we can use our AI tool to qualify our leads to the hot, warm, and the cold, right? And one of the metrics that you mentioned that we should use to do that is updating the data that we got from our forms or from our advert or wherever we are getting the data from, feed it to the AI tool that we're using for it to qualify those leads to the different categories. And then towards the end of the session, you mentioned that one of the things that we should not do is uploading the client's full details online, right? Or to the AI agent. So now the question is, do we have to like max the details, like the names individually, like once the leads come in, so it's like it's not automatic. We have to like do it manually, remove their names, change their name, and all of that. So now my question is, the time we're using to do all of that, wouldn't we have probably just sort the leads ourselves?
Okay, let me quickly answer your question straight off. This is a data privacy concern, and you don't want a situation where sensitive information such as names, address, email address is escaping to an LLM you don't have control over. If push comes to shove, okay, let's come here. You've heard about, you probably have read in the news how an AI agent broke out of the sandbox environment in OpenAI and hacked into Hugging Face. That is the latest news as of that is hot this week, right? And these are the big frontier models. You don't want a situation where, because you also exposed some people's data, if those kind of breaches happen, they are now stealing data from your system, or your client's data got exposed through you. So typically in the AI domain, what we call this kind of thing is anonymization. So you may not necessarily need to start. So for example, if you have 1,000 leads or 1 million leads, you won't probably use it. You won't use your hand to be doing one at a time, right? That's where some basic data skills is also required for you to operate at that level. If it's just to put it in a spreadsheet, use Excel. Just basically you still have the master sheet, but make a copy. Replace all the first name column with X, or replace it with something random, or replace with random numbers. All the last, or replace email addresses. Maybe you mask some part of it. That's why your data literacy skill will also come in, because to upload that much, have you gotten an email where you don't even know where that email came from? Because at some point, right, this our AI domain is a very wonderful one. Your chat GPT is crawling the web. You don't know what it is reading on those web. There are some malicious webs that have prompt injection that they would give your chat GPT another instruction. The instruction could be that you should go back to the source or to your system or to wherever to go and pick data and come and give it to them. And you will be selling your own client's data on the black web. But you may not know all of these things. So that's where I'm coming from to say, hey, take your time to anonymize that data as much as you can. Now I'm in a tight spot. I may have to run. Let me see if I can take one more under 1 minute and we'll quickly go. Zenith Miklans, let's quickly have it. Did I answer your question, Top Notch?
Yeah, you did not. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Zenith, let's roll.
Well, thank you very much, ma. I really appreciate Mrs. Oluwatayo. Yeah, please. I have 2 or 3 questions to ask, ma. The first one: which of the AI app is the best to use
There's no
for
anyone you
this?
want to use is great. You have
ChatGPT,
ChatGPT, you have Claude, you have Gemini. Just
Gemini. Okay.
just use them as you want. There's really nothing. There is no conversation of best or no best. Really. What's your second question?
Okay. The second one, is it possible to follow up after this, as in chat with you after this, so that because some of the things that you just give us now, it is not what we can easily do. You
Yeah, yes.
understand? Probably just to
Slide will be sent to FIPS
yeah,
and you have access to it.
yeah.
Yes.
Even having the slide, it's quite different from having on the experience that you have passed through. You know,
You pay
I
me
think you should understand.
if you want to come to me now. You pay me. All
You
right.
know,
What's your
yeah, I'm
third
just
question?
asking. Yeah. Then the third one, what is your social media handle?
It's my full name, Tayo Winkunle or Oluwatayo Winkunle, depending on which social media.
Okay, yes. Okay. All right. I think that was the three questions which I have. I
Thank
will
you
try
so
as much
much.
as possible follow you.
Thank you
Just
so
remember
much.
the name, ma.
All
Zenith Marklans.
right. All right.
So in case you say it, you just quickly know I'm the one.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Abel. I have to run now. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Oluwatayo Winkule. It's been a very, very amazing and intensive one, and I actually got a lot of value from it. And also, I'm very sure that we all got value from it as well. Did anybody get value from it? Did anybody get value? Did anybody get value? Did you get, let me never say value, did you get one thing, at least one thing that you can implement immediately after the class today? Did you get at least one thing that you can implement? Did you get one thing? Okay, great, great. Thank you so much, Miss Winkule. She's about to run now. She has another meeting that she needs to up on right now. We want to say a very big thank you for your time. We really, 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 really appreciate. Now, guys, we'll be moving on to the second session for today, which is going to be centering around product knowledge. We'll be discussing about the various products that we have available for sale, because yesterday during in the evening we had a lot of questions that came in on the properties that we have available for sale, how you can get them, and many other things around that. So we'll be discussing about all of those